Welcome everyone to a special episode of PE Sim Racing, the podcast. This week, Tyler and I take the show on the virtual road as we come to you live from the Bathurst 12-hour race. We are joined in studio by Mark Dillion Jr., Dennys Diaz, and Sean Adkins, along with the team from Pony Express 3 as they compete for a victory in the Bathurst 12-hour race. So stay tuned for this special episode. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to another show, everyone. Another episode of PE Sim Racing, the podcast. I am your host, JR Kopp, and once again with me tonight, I have Tyler Bergert, and we have many special guests tonight, including one Mr. Sean Adkins is joining us. So first, let's get Tyler on the horn here. Tyler, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, buddy. How's it going?
Well, we'll get to into a minute how it's going, as it's not going that well, but for those of you listening, you can hear the car sound in the background. We are actually taping this podcast live from the Bathurst 12 race. And in case you're wondering, we're taping a podcast, which means we're not racing, which is why we're going to bring Sean in. And Sean can vouch because I need Sean as my backup on this. Welcome to the show, Sean. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, man. Thanks for the invite. Yes, this is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, a little heartbreak today, but hey, we still had a good time.
We did. And again, I brought Sean in because, well, I wrecked the car. Yes, there, I said it. I wrecked the car twice. I wrecked the car. Now, Sean, I need you to back me up on this. Was it my fault?
I will say no.
Yes, that's all I needed. Sean, you're good. Thanks for joining us on the show today. That's all we needed.
Hey,
last
hold
four
on
that count is 3, 2.
Fastest we ever had somebody on the show. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
End of podcast. Thanks for coming.
See you.
oh man. So yeah, JR's the guy. He qualified the car, laid down a pretty decent time, thought we were going to be pretty good, and then he gets caught up in a couple of accidents that really weren't his fault, but still he was the one driving, so it was his fault. But what did you say right before the race started? Something about car will be good until we hand it over to Tyler, something like that?
That is, no, actually, the exact words were, it's all good until Tyler wrecks it, I think, or something like that. But yes, I did. Yeah. I cursed myself. I apologize. I owned it. It was me. I crashed the car.
I'm going to print that text message out, and I'm going to frame it, and then I'm going to mail it to you, and I want to see it hung up on the wall.
Gladly.
Here's where it's tough, though. So, and this is the thing, right? So the situation is as we start the race, everything's fairly calm. A couple things behind us, no real big issues, no real big scares for the most part. Everybody's behaving. We've made up some positions. We actually get around Brad, and we get into this bubble. Actually, I think it was before you passed Brad, but we get into this bubble, and I look at it and I go, okay, he's got nobody 6 seconds behind him. He has nobody 6 seconds in front of him. Surely he can't get in trouble right now if I go, take care of a couple things. Oh, and I'm gone 5-10 minutes, and sure enough, the car's wadded up. But yeah, I went and looked at it, and it was one of those things down at the bottom of that hairpin that all of a sudden there is no more open road.
Well, that's the thing about Bathurst for a lot of people who've never raced it is when you go to climb the mountain and descend the mountain, the track's only like a lane and a half wide.
Yeah.
So if someone spins around sideways, they're blocking the whole track. You have no choice, and a lot of those corners are blind, so you can't see them. And so unless you have a live spotter looking way ahead of you, you're just kind of at the mercy.
Yes.
Yes.
And Sean, you left with, like you said, I had a 6 second gap in front and a 6 second gap behind. The problem was Brad and I were probably a second and a half faster a lap at that stage. So we closed in on everybody pretty quickly, and again, it was at night. It was pitch black. I come around the corner on the hairpin. There's 2 cars facing me. No place to go. But let's
you see headlights when you're coming down the mountain.
Correct. Now we were Pony Express 1. There's Pony Express 2. Those guys, they ended up on the roof. But Pony Express 3 is actually still up and running, and they are currently leading their split.
they are actually in second place.
Or second place.
Yeah, I noticed that they had it wrong on the stream there for a bit. There was something weird with the tracker.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're currently right around 7 to 8 seconds behind the leader at this moment, and they're running about comparable lap times. Last lap they were 7/10 of a lap faster than the leader, so they're sitting in a pretty good spot right now.
Which is great. So what we're going to do is we're going to go grab Mr. Paul Boyle. He is actually getting ready to jump in the car for his stint. So we're going to get him before he gets in the car and see how he's if he's ready to face the carnage. So let me go grab Paul. And there we have Mr. Paul Boyle. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
So, Paul, you are getting ready to jump in the second place car for Pony Express Team 3 tonight. What's your thoughts getting ready to jump in? Now, is this your first stint?
Oh, no, we've been going at this for about 7 hours now. This will be stint number 3 for me. Starting, I opened the race, and we're about to kind of begin our third round of 1, 2, 3. So, my third stint will be about an hour in the car again. Should be me to the end, and I think, or I might be taking the check, but I'm not quite sure, depending on how we're going to play it out.
Well, how has the track changed since the last time you were in? I'm assuming it's getting hotter, so it's probably getting a little slicker.
It's about 10 degrees hotter. Fortunately, some concussive maintenance to the front end of our car, thanks to me earlier on in the stint, means we've got a little bit more downforce than we potentially started with. So everyone's running just that little bit slower now, about 3 seconds a lap slower than at sunrise, when the track was obviously down at about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're just maintaining that pace, maintaining that speed. Right now, given the gaps in the speeds that everyone's racing, it's more about just bringing it home in a repairable manner rather than going all out to the wall.
Now, Paul, you guys, at one point, you were like 2 laps down, sitting in 5th place, which really isn't too bad. But now, with you getting ready to take over the car from Zach, you're going to find yourself sitting in 2nd place within reach of taking the lead. Is that something that you think you can do?
We are confident that we have a decent pit strategy that will last us to the end of the race now. We are really kind on our tyres in this Mercedes. The leaders themselves are in a BMW and are having to take tyres every pit stop at the moment. So we're excited by the prospect of potentially not even having to overtake them on track at all.
Well, all right, then. It sounds like a good plan. We'll be watching I'll be watching definitely for the most of the rest of the race. And you'll be able to find the live stream on our Pony Express YouTube channel, as well as about the last 3 hours. You'll be able to find another stream on the Pony Express Facebook page as well.
I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to be passing that on to family and friends. Unfortunately, it's about midnight in my local time right now, so I don't think many will be awake for me to be sending it to them to watch live, unfortunately, guys.
Well, that's all right. They can watch it tomorrow if they want.
Now, Paul, obviously, you sound a little bit different than the rest of it in this room. Where exactly are you at, Paul?
I am from the lovely Watford, England. Watford, obviously, being a...
Uh-oh. I think it's time for him to get in the car.
I guess, Paul.
I think so.
Somebody grab Paul.
It's time.
And that is the benefits of Discord, is you can go grab your teammate and tell him, time to get in the car.
No, he's back.
My apologies about the abrupt interruption. Technical difficulties on behalf of Zach in the car means I will be taking up the mantle sooner than expected this lap. So I'm happy
Good
to
luck,
keep
Paul.
for a few minutes, or if you want me to truly put my head down, I'm happy to do that as well.
No, you go take care of things and go get in the car, and we will speak to you later, sir.
I'll be back on in about an hour or so. For sure.
Good luck.
Thanks, Paul.
Good luck, Paul.
All right. Well, there we have Mr. Paul Boyle, who actually, Paul, I want to say his qualifying time was a 2:03 something this morning. So Paul was on it this morning as well. And hopefully those guys will have a good strategy. They can get back in the lead. That'd be nice to see a Pony Express team out front.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you said that he qualified with a 2:03. I'm looking at these lap times here, and everybody on the track is running 2:07, 2:08, 2:09. So the track is really, really slowing down.
I'm sure track's slowing down. There's probably not very many cars out there that are damage free at this point. And driving a damaged car is not a lot of fun, if I'm not correct. Hey, Sean?
Yeah, it's not. And when it gets out of whack, it never quite goes back into whack. Yeah. Did I see right though that they were actually, I think I was seeing something else. I think they had about an 8 or 10 second lead on Jimmy Covert and his team now.
Oh, Jimmy Covert, their team was they're like 12th place or something like that right now. They're several laps down.
Oh, gotcha, man.
Yeah, so Jimmy is a member of the Endurance for Amateurs League, along with his teammate Carl Henwick. They're
two both really fast guys.
Very fast guys.
Yeah, I don't see Jimmy's name on the board right now. Somebody else was driving, but I'm not sure what their team name is. I don't know if do you guys know?
I don't. I was watching it on the live stream before, but I just wasn't paid because at the time they had the names up.
Yeah, and it looks like they've done a driver switch. I think that's their team still in 12th place. If it is, it shows them that they're 14 laps down. I could be wrong, but I think that's them.
That sounds about right if they're in 12th.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
well, actually, because they were running the fastest lap. They had the fastest overall lap. And if I'm looking correctly at a 2:03.4, that would be the core GT3 team sitting in
that would be
2 laps down.
Yep, that's Mark Thomas.
Yeah, so they're sitting back in 18th place. They're 22 laps down. They have the potential right now to gain at least 2 more spots. So they could maybe get a top 15, but it sounds like they've had kind of a rough day.
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
We've all had a rough day today, boy. And that was really the thing, right? Is both of our incidents were not of our own doing, and even the second one is you're coming around, kind of that uphill left, and it's just a wall. And then as soon as you get around, it was about the time the guy decided to loop it right in front of you, and it just so happened, right, the guy on the outside of us was trying to be a nice guy and let you go by. So
yeah, this is the third 12 hours of Bathurst race that I've ever been a part of. This will be the second one that I don't finish. This will be the first one I never even got in the car.
Yeah, I did get in it. I figured, well, we might as well turn a couple of laps. But yeah, she pushed like a dump truck after that. It was so tight going in.
Zach just hit pit road. Looks like they're getting ready to do a driver swap. So hopefully we can grab him and bring him up here and see how the car is actually doing. It does have a small bit of damage, but they're doing pretty good.
He was really battling with a few lapped cars there for a while, I saw, and I kept thinking, Zach, just let him go, man. Let him go.
There were a couple of times where the teammates had to come in and say, Zach, just let him go. It's not a big deal. Let him by. And, Zach wants to race. So
yeah, Zach's always on, man.
But when you're running second place at Bathurst, you just can't risk it, man.
That's right. It's too easy to wad it up.
Speak of the devil, we're joined by another Pony Express driver.
He was the fourth man on our team that didn't get to the fourth man, Mr. Mark Dillion. Welcome to the show, Mr. Mark Dillion.
Nice.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Well,
great.
We're doing good. We just spoke with Paul Boyle. He's getting ready to get in the leading Pony Express team. They are I believe they're jumped into first place. Is that correct, Tyler?
Still showing me that they're second place.
Still second place.
But they pit, their box is way up front past the start finish line. So I could be seeing old information, but I'm still seeing Mad Sim Racing in first place. But it looks like Paul's already left pit road and maybe Brett's still on pit road. I'm not sure. I'll get you an update here in a minute.
There we go.
Perfect.
Got to run down to the other side of pit lane.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get my scooter. And
get
head
my
on
pit.
down.
Well,
The
Mark,
batteries are dead.
Mark, you didn't even get a chance to get in the car tonight either. And as we were talking about earlier, I take full responsibility. I was the guy in the car for both wrecks. Now, you had a few incidents in Pony Express, and what's your thoughts on... I mean, obviously you can't not much thoughts on the race itself, but you kind of been in this position before, I assume.
Oh man, Tyler, you remember Larry's lawn care?
Oh my God, I forgot all about Larry's lawn
Well,
care.
So our first endurance race that we ever did was 12 hours of Sebring. It was me, Tyler, and another guy named Larry. And I tell you what, he cut so much grass that we just kept giving him crap, talking about Larry's lawn care service, and that's probably why he never raced with us again after that.
Yeah.
Great.
Also, like I think me and Mark both live streamed it or something, and a bunch of the guys who ran in the NASCAR race or the NASCAR league that Larry came from were watching it, and they just kept going, "Yeah, mow that grass, Larry. Larry's lawn service. We need some fertilizer over here. Oh, we got some tall grass in turn 12. Cut it for us." And I mean, he took it. He was a good sport about it, but after that, he's like, "Man, that was brutal. I don't want to do that ever again."
Yeah, I'm not putting myself up in that space to be easily
Exactly.
ridiculed.
Exactly.
But we've all been there. You know, obviously you guys talked a couple episodes ago about my famous outlap in the 12 hours of Bathurst. You know, I did a 3-hour event with Sean at Bathurst, and I think he crashed once. It's just it's that, and that's part of the appeal for me personally, why I like road racing over oval. It's just, you got, you know, there's 10 corners, 15 corners, whatever it may be. You've got to master a lot of corners, and you've got to put that together for 12 to 24 hours. It's way more difficult than running the Daytona 500 and just turning left for 3 hours.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you two gentlemen are not going to get a chance to find that out tonight.
Well, I mean, that's okay. I mean, I told you guys all this morning, you know, no matter what happens, we're going to have fun. And the good news is since JR wrecked the car at noon, I can start day drinking.
There we go. Now, Mark,
always
you
a
did
plus.
have a surprise for us this morning. A wonderfully painted car. And speaking for myself, I won't speak for Tyler, but I want to say thank you. That was a beautifully painted car paying tribute to this show. I'm just sad that we didn't get a chance to show it off in the daylight.
It was
Yeah.
really nice. We really appreciate it. I loved the chrome green color that it had.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome. It was
I'll
really,
put a picture
really
of it
well
up on the
done.
website.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise you guys with that. And so I knew I was going to reach out to Chris Lawson because he does amazing paints for us. He does some stuff with the spec maps and the chrome that not a lot of people can do. So yeah, he did a great job on that. All I did was I sent him your guys' image from your website, and I was like, I need a car based on this. And that's all I told him, and he did everything else himself.
He did a great job. It was a very
Yeah.
nice surprise.
Yeah, I
It
think
was awesome.
Pretty cool.
JR, make sure when you put the picture on the website, make sure you grab a picture before you rip the front end off of it, though, please.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
there's a big crash on the front stretch right there.
Yes. So you're
Uh-oh.
not going to get play-by-play recording, but we are currently watching. We just have a static view of the pit lane, and so we are going to get lots of incidents. Hey, that's where I was at, Sean.
Where's that? Pit
Right.
lane?
No, right there. That was my one incident that I caused myself. That's where I spun out at.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You just caught a little bit of grass there. It's one of those things because, and like I said this morning though, right? If incident one doesn't happen, incident two doesn't happen because now you're at a point where we're much faster than the cars in front of us. You're trying to put down after you get around somebody. You're trying to put down that fast lap to put some separation in. So, you didn't hit anything. That was the one that was clean all the way around, quick loop, and let's keep going.
Yeah. Well, As we spoke earlier, we have another guest on the show tonight, Mr. Zach Nurberger. How are you doing, Zach?
Good. Just got the scare of my life. My headset battery went low, and a notification popped up and like froze it for a second, like as I was going in like into the cutting, like the tightest part of the track, and scared the crap out of me. So we had to pit early, but it won't affect the strategy too bad.
Gotta point out something real quick.
Yes, sir.
So right now, live on your podcast that we're doing, you have the top four. You have all of the senior leadership of the league in a room together. We've never even done that. Period.
No, that's true. Now's the time. All of a sudden, everybody's here. They're in one room.
So now that I've got all my senior leadership here, we can go ahead and let JR know that he's being kicked out of the league.
Yes.
He didn't make the requirements.
But I met all the requirements, Mark.
Oh, that's right. Well, I feel like you cursed yourself last week when you guys made that checklist.
No, I cursed myself last
Probably
night
not.
when I said it didn't really matter because Tyler was going to wreck the car anyways.
JR keeps cursing me in all the league races now. He messages me before every race, saying I'll see you in the booth, and he's done it twice, and I've crashed out twice. I refused
didn't-
to join him in the booth after the second time. So,
I didn't say it last time. I said I hope I don't see you in the booth.
well, that's just as bad.
Okay. So maybe it is me. Maybe I should go start a podcast for a league where they don't actually race.
How would
Well,
that work?
A lot of people wouldn't consider what we do here racing.
Oh,
What's
well.
it? Crashing with style.
Yeah. Drinking and driving is basically what we do. But
Man,
Well, I always
That
said
ain't
you get
right.
more time on air if you're crashing than you do if you're just racing around.
oh, you're damn right.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like the 405 in Los Angeles, and it's a bunch of road rage drivers. Let's go.
The Le Mans standing start was very reminiscent of that.
Oh
Hey, I
boy.
just saw the Pony Express car blow by the start finish line.
yeah, it looks like they're a minute behind the leader and 25 seconds ahead of third place.
Yeah, they were a lot closer to first place, but Zach had to change the strategy up a little bit there with his dying battery.
Yeah, but we were running faster than them. I was on the second stint of those tires, and they took fresh tires, and we were still pulling away about half a second a lap.
Yeah, it looks like
So
Paul's last
Paul
lap
just took
208,
fresh tires.
and the leader just ran at 210.4, so two and a half seconds faster that lap.
Yeah, those leaders are fast.
Yeah, and third
But
place
they're
is running 209.5, so they're not gaining either.
Yeah.
You guys have a chance to win this race, man. So
I do want to.
What
I don't know
have
if
they
you
done?
know this. I don't know if you know this, Zach, but fourth place, Donkey Bop Racing. That's John Nielsen. He's in
Yeah,
our
we
league.
did. I heard someone say his name, but I didn't actually look into it because I was like white knuckling the wheel at the time, so I didn't get a chance to look around.
Yep.
But
so you
Jimmy
guys
Gilbert's
have
in there.
several
he's been
guys.
racing with me. Yeah.
Mark, how many endurance wins do we have as a team? Do you know?
Me and you won the Glen, and then I believe Zach won a charity race.
I won the charity race and in the TCR. Me and Keith did. And then me, Boyle, Dennis, and Marcus won Petit Le Mans right after that.
Yeah. I
I
remember
guess
that
you
one.
could say 3
remember that.
wins.
2.5. One was for
2.5,
charity.
yeah.
We did it for the kids.
Yeah, one was for charity, and one was with Dennis. He's on a whole different level.
Well, the one with Dennis, he drove the least out of all of us, actually. He like started, pulled away, and then he got in the car as a joke to try and get fastest lap because we were 7 laps ahead of P2, and we had a bunch of optionals, so we just took it so we couldn't get ran into because we're in the pits, so you can't hit us there.
Oh,
And then
true.
we put Dennis in the car to try and go for fastest lap of the 12-hour race, and then we gave it to Marcus, and he destroyed the car before we could take pictures with it on the last lap. Ruined the whole strategy.
But yeah, I think we've got a handful of top 5s, some top 10s. Obviously, it took me and you 3 years to even get into the 6 hours of the Glen race, and luckily that paid off with a win to make it worth it.
Yeah, it did. I think we had the whole lap, at least one lap, the whole field at least a lap down, didn't we?
Zach tried to stop us, but
When
was
was
Zach
this?
in that race?
Oh
With the
yeah,
Glen?
Zach crashed us in that race.
Yeah, I came around the corner and there was a car sideways. Or no, was it me or was it Sean that was in the car? I don't know. One of us was in the car. It wasn't our fault. We just turned the corner and then someone was just piled up sideways. And Mark drove underneath everyone and got only 3 seconds of optionals. Don't know how that happened.
You were in the car. I was spotting for you because I remember watching the rewinding. Yep.
Because Terry was gone. And I turned the corner going on to like where the cup circuit rejoins, like where the boot meets the cup circuit. And there's just a dude sideways.
Do you
the
see?
Mark just braked us.
The rules are exact. The requirements to be in this team, they all are met by everybody. If you talk to enough guys, we've all done every single one of them at least once.
So we're all in.
Well, and we've never really been, since me and Tyler started doing this in 2017, we never really took it seriously. So like, if somebody wrecks the car, we're not going to throw you under the bus and kick you off the team. And it's just, it's part of endurance racing. If people if these things were easy, some people would win them a lot more often than they do.
Yeah, we'd all be in the top split having a good time.
Yeah, when me and Mark first started doing it, even when we were doing it with Larry, it was just more or less kind of an excuse to play video games with our buddies all night and eat microwaved pizza rolls, wasn't it?
Well, shoot, I mean, speaking of, if it was so easy, we have like our top 3 GT3 guys in the league right now, and they're 22 laps down. So I mean, you can be real fast, but you catch the wrong car at the wrong time, and wah wah.
I think our next one's Sebring, right?
Yes. We have 5 teams signed up for that too. That's a lot.
You go a lot. Hopefully that one goes a lot better.
Hopefully Tyler Watts gets in the car for once. One of these days, man. He's cursed.
Yeah, poor Tyler Watts is 0 for 2 right now.
Yep. Oh man. But I told him, hell or high water, we're getting the LMP out there and on track. We're doing it because there's no way we can do this 3 times in a row.
JR, you're now 0 for 3 at Bath?
Yes.
Oh man, the Bath expert himself.
0 for 3 at a track I absolutely love.
You're down bad.
Did you get a chance to tell your son that you've been in the car today?
No, I tried to call him and confess, and he's I don't know what shift he's working. He's works whatever hours. I don't know. I don't pay attention. But yes, I tried to call him and tell him that I binned it. I did send a message to Carter, who was my partner in the last Bath race, and tell him that I binned it. And his response was, well, at least you're consistent.
Hey, not wrong.
Kick
But,
his man when he's down.
I mean, you're not as consistent as put it on the roof 2 years in a row, Bryce Anderson.
Oh, man.
Brett's crashed twice in a day. He put it on the roof twice in a day.
He put it on the roof twice last year at Bathurst.
Well, actually, I don't know if it went twice this year, but he crashed once and then put it on the roof the second time.
Was it on the straightaway again today?
No, he lost it in, what's it called, the Dipper.
Yeah, by the way, the whoever posted that meme in the PE channel with the dude on the little Barbie car spinning in the rain-soaked street, hilarious, dude, that was hilarious. And apparently that's what, I don't know who it was afterwards, and that's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah, Tyler's like, that's what happened.
Bryce is notorious for flipping the car on its lid. He did that to us twice last year, but somehow when he did it, the car sustained hardly any damage.
Oh, speaking of flipping the car on the roof, Nami Lay and Brad McCombs. Nami literally braked, textbook, yellow flag, slow down, everything, and just gets like pool cued right from behind and takes out System X. Like going through the little top part of the mountain or whatever. Yep. I mean, brakes everything, does everything right by the book, and just gets absolutely railroaded and just flying.
See,
like, man. What else you gotta do?
I have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It looks like the Pony Express team is now officially in the lead.
Hey!
The Mad Sim Racing team on pit road now. It looks like they've got about a 47-second lead at the moment.
Nice job, gentlemen.
Great.
Maintain it.
Yeah.
So let me ask, what is, in your guys' opinion, what is worse? Is it running 2-3 hours into these endurance races, and then the next guy hops in the car and bins it on his outlap, and you're done? Or is it putting in a couple weeks of practice, and then you never even get a chance to drive the car?
Personally, I would never want. I would rather never even get the chance to drive the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like less invested in it.
Okay,
It
so
hurts a lot.
mine was worse. I got it.
Dang.
Well,
Sorry, dude.
I can,
Yeah,
I
didn't
can
even know
speak
what I
from
was
the.
answering.
I can speak from the weeks of practice to get in the car and crash it. I feel bad because I didn't get the chance to let everybody else drive it. But the fact that you guys are so understanding and everybody understands that this happens and it's just the way endurance racing is, doesn't make it nearly as bad as I was expecting it to be.
Well, you know, me and Tyler didn't waste any time practicing.
No.
How
No,
much
Tyler,
practice did you
oh
do,
God.
Mark?
Tyler and I did a lap, but he was like, what gear am I supposed to be in? Oh, this is not going to go good. He was running 2-minute and 19-second lap times, and he couldn't keep it off the wall.
Easy now. I still ran a 2:09 before we quit.
It's funny though. By time that's how it used to be at Sebring when we do the 12 hours of Sebring, and by the end of the race, me and him were one-upping each other for the fastest lap every time we'd swap in and out of the car.
I believe it. And that's what I told Sean. By the time we're done, everybody will be running 204s without a problem.
Yeah.
Tyler is better at road racing than he is oval. He just won't admit it.
Well, we weren't sure he was going to get the road race. His wonderful 1983 wheel and pedals wouldn't even turn on when we went to practice last night.
Hey, just because my wheel and pedals are made out of wood doesn't mean they don't work, so back off.
I don't even think it's wood.
Oh man.
Yeah, Windows update kind of got me.
I think the only person that practiced other than you, JR, was me, and it was a little bit of practice. It was, no big deal.
Did you actually practice for this race?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Sean did a lot of laps.
John always does a lot of laps.
I should also add in funny story. After Bryce crashed, he went to do an official race. His pedals exploded.
I heard
his
that.
rig. So even if the other drivers didn't get him, he would have got himself somehow. Just what a day for him. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now, if you would have had a set of those nice Azactec pedals, Tyler, I bet those wouldn't have.
I'm telling you what,
would
you
have
had
had no
no
issues.
phone.
I guess the issue is that his pedals are like Velcroed to something,
Yes.
and I guess the Velcro like broke off or something when he went to hit the brakes.
It's just Bryce legs.
But it's like, who Velcros their pedals down? Why?
Yeah.
But
Well-
I don't know how his setup actually is.
Maybe
just
in
asking for a heart attack.
91, when you didn't have a rig, you had to Velcro 'em or something. But come on, it's 2022.
Yeah, get a couple bolts in there.
At least, yeah, mine have bolts through the wood.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
it's lesson learned. Who knows?
Even the wiring for mine is made out of wood.
A lot of good conductivity through that, I don't believe.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man, it's all I got, and you're damn glad to have it.
It's the Ferris Bueller. It is a piece of crap.
Well,
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. I don't even have a piece of crap.
Sean, this is your first time being on the show.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive right into, since we're kind of knocking on Bryce's rig, and we haven't even had a chance to talk to him yet, and hopefully by the time we do, it's a different one. What is Sean running?
So I currently have a SimLab GT rig that I actually bought used here in the area in Michigan, running Club Sport V3 pedals, Club Sport wheelbase with the McLaren GT V2 wheel, and actually running now pretty much full time in the Reverb G2 VR system. But that's
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, outside of that, it's just bits and bytes and speeds and feeds, and nobody cares about that.
Now,
Sounds cooler than mine.
was that your first rig?
No, actually, so
Yeah, here we go. Let's get to the good stuff. I want to hear. I want to hear about the cardboard Google.
the death traps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
They're got them wooden pedals, John.
Yeah, exactly, right? So back in the day, before,
Back
so
in the
at one
day.
point, yeah, well, I started racing. I started actually sim racing back when NASCAR Racing 2K3 was out.
One
Yeah,
of my
man.
people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought I was in freaking heaven, right? I had my wheel and pedals, and it wasn't load cells. It was just whatever.
Oh, Tyler
you
still has those.
do you? Yeah, right. With the spring loads, not even a potentiometer, just
That's what I'm using, buddy. That's why
Yeah.
I'm so sus.
Tilt control.
G27 for life.
Tyler's one step ahead of using a
Represent.
controller.
Yeah, but even back then, that was before the G27 days, really, wasn't it? That was
Yeah, it was. The G27 came out in like 2007 or 2008. I had the wheel that I was using before was one that I held in my lap before the 27 came out.
That's what I had too. I don't know what it was, but it was a
I
piece
don't
of
That
either.
was back in the day. I
But
had a
it got
Mad Patch
job
wheel
done.
for the
Well, 'cause
original Xbox.
I think that the really good ones right back in the day were the Thrustmaster, maybe. They had the big NASCAR rims on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point being, right, is I started off like most of us, just with a chair and a set of pedals. But when it really got bad, I ended up, for some reason, I don't remember why, but I stopped racing in the 2K3 series and started on racing just offline in front of my TV. And then I just push the pedals up against the entertainment center, pull over an easy chair. Same thing, right?
I've done
But
it.
yeah,
Oh,
I
we've
think
all
we
done it.
have. Absolutely. But when I finally really got back into it, I start off with kind of the death trap kind of a thing, just a couple of 2x4s. I've had an old car seat, bolted everything together, and said, "Yep, that'll work." Right, with the wood bottom and bolting the pedals to it. And then I thought, oh hey, you read the articles, maybe I could invert these. Oh well, there we go. So I played with that for a bit, and then went to a Rick Motec. Actually built a Rick Motec rig, and I actually really like that rig. I actually still like it. It was one of those deals where I modified it enough to my use that it's actually a great rig, and I've set it up now for the kids to be able to use. But yeah, and then we went from that to the sim lab. So I mean, not a great story, but yeah, a few little. Obviously, there's always travels, right, before you get to that final rig.
So that's what you got now. What's the next evolution? Because it sounds like you're like a lot of us, where this is great for now, but are you a nice look at the shiny thing kind of guy like myself?
I am, absolutely. I'm all about the gadgets, first of all. And so when you find that next new thing, you think, oh boy, these are going to be so awesome, and you're really going to get that feel, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? I think for me, I've been looking lately at the Husingvelds. Obviously, everybody does, but branching off of that and looking at two companies. VRS obviously makes a set of pedals, and then there's another one out of Spain, I believe, and they're the BJ pedals. It's pretty much looks like a Husingveld type pedal, but I've heard a lot of good feedback about them, that people really like them in many cases more than the Huskies. So I don't know, we might give that a shot. And then I think we're definitely at some point going to get a direct drive wheel. Now whether or not we go the let's save a few shekels route and go with a CSL DD with the boost, or if we go with a DD1, I'm not sure. But as I'm already in the Fanatec ecosystem right now, I might as well stick with it until a wheel breaks, and then we'll look at maybe a semi-cube or something like that. Who knows?
Okay, I went with the DD Pro. I had the CSL Elite, and I went with the DD Pro because it's compatible with the PS5.
Right.
And I equate it to going from your G29, your G27 to the CSL Elite. It's that big of a difference going from the CSL Elite to the direct drive.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm expecting, right? Because I had a similar path. I had I think the Xbox version was the 920, the G920.
Yeah.
And went from that into the Club Sport wheel, and was like, oh my gosh, right? You're shocked of how much you feel through the wheelbase upgrading. So that's definitely kind of. I tell you what, though, my biggest regret in this whole thing, and every time you upgrade, right, you almost always go, boy, that was a good upgrade. Now, whether you're telling yourself a story or have a placebo effect, who knows? But my biggest actual regret is I had a set of the original CSL Elite pedals. And when I got the V3s, I went ahead and upgraded because I thought, oh, it'd be great, right? It's got the little vibrating motors. Now, mind you, I'd done a mod on my Elites to basically have that feature with an Adreno board. And those were great. I thought, okay, this has got a little bit more adjustment. No. I tell you, it took me a year to get them finally dialed in to where I felt like I had good feel. Where the CSL Elites, I don't know, something straight out of the box just clicked with me, and I could immediately get to that threshold breaking point.
Yeah, I have the V3s, and I love them. But like you said, there was a little bit of a period where you had to dial them in. You had to play around with the springs and all the settings. But man, once you get them dialed in, I love them.
From the CSL Elites out of the box, they just feel good.
They do, man. There's something about it. I know that the load cell isn't as big of one as is in the V3s, but there's something about the feel on that one. But yeah, I'm with you, JR. Now that I've gotten it set up correctly with the right bushings in there and the right preload set, it's definitely much better now. I can get the brake, a little travel to where we get through that first part and just kind of stiffen up right as we get to the end of, before we get to that threshold.
Yes. Yeah, I know I've been looking at, and I hadn't really thought about upgrading pedals again, because I really like these a lot, but some of those hydraulic ones, I don't know, maybe it's the fascination of the next shiny thing, but I really would like to try them and see if it's that big of a difference, because I know going from, just standard potentiometer pedals to load cell pedals was, wow, you couldn't believe the feel you got, and now going to these V3s, I don't know. I guess it's like you said, it's the next shiny thing. Are they actually better? I don't know, but I'd really like to try. Unfortunately, when you're talking $1,000 to get into a decent set just for pedals, I don't know if I'm really ready to drop that kind of coin yet.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? It's a very tough thing. It's a very similar thing in like hi-fi enthusiasts, right? It's hard for people to go out and try these things without having to buy them. I'm kind of 100% with you, though. It's do you spend the money and hope? I think at the end of the day, though, is it worth it? I think the biggest thing it's going to give you is even more immersion, right? That's where you're really going to get your bang for the buck out of them. And so if it's enjoyable because it does give you that extra immersion, I think that's a wonderful thing. Now, I don't think my pocketbook can absorb that kind of hit, but hey, if you can, I think it's a great thing, man, because it's all about immersion, really.
Correct. And I've been looking at the motion rigs.
Yeah.
Now you can buy bolt-on motion rigs. You don't have. It used to be you had to buy it all kind of as a complete set, and now I'm starting to see where some of these companies are making motion rigs that you can bolt on. They have adapters that you can use to pretty much bolt into any rig. So that's another, again, that immersion into being a fully encased sim rig. Especially, you said you race VR. I've tried VR, and it's not my thing. I can't do it. But that, I would imagine if you were to go with full motion and VR, and now you're just, you're in the car at that point. It's almost hard to tell that it's not real.
Yeah, and it's really kind of that way just with the VR. And actually, I'll tell you, one of the things I did, and sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't, and it'll save you a few bucks. And it gives you a lot of the same information without necessarily the actual motion. That's bass transducers. Tell you hook up a bass shaker under your seat, and you really get that seat of the pants feeling. Now, obviously, you're not getting the motion, right? But you do get a good sense of what the car is doing under you without having, because one of the big things, and I think Dave Cam actually had a video. He was at some convention, and he was talking about the fact he was testing somebody's new pedals, and he was talking about their simulation rigs, though, or their motion rigs. And he basically said, the great thing about it was, it wasn't substantial changes, whether it was, X or Y axis, forward, back, left, right. He said it was just subtle enough that you could feel the weight shift of the car. And I think that's where I think we're probably still a little early on some of the really good great detailed motion rigs. I just don't think we're quite there yet, but boy, is it on the horizon.
Now, do you run one of those base shakers?
I do. Yeah, actually, my nerdness
Well, see,
decided
you didn't
to
mention that earlier.
Yeah,
That's something
well,
I've been looking at, thinking about.
Yeah, I actually started with 4. I started with 1 on each corner, and I actually went the Parts Express route, which is funny because, and Tyler knows exactly what I'm pretty sure you should know what I'm talking about. But I remember growing up, and that was always a place we wanted to go, was Parts Express, because you get cheap electronics, speakers, car stereo stuff, super cheap. But apparently they've got a great internet business now. But yeah, I bought them through there, saved a few shekels, and the funny thing is, everybody said, you go through the forums, they're like, oh yeah, these Auroras are great, they do the job, no problem. On the wood rig, all 4 worked pretty well. You could get a sense of what each individual wheel was doing. I had a very hard time getting it to work correctly, or how I could really feel it correctly on the 80/20 rig. But what I ended up doing, that's when I basically put 1 on the lower back and 1 underneath, and I basically just run as if the fronts are a little bit less of a vibration than the rears, because you would obviously feel that probably a little bit more. You'd feel the fronts maybe a little more through the wheel. So I figured it out with the 2 that gives me just enough information to really hear and feel what the car is doing. Obviously, hearing through headset, feeling both through your hands and through the seat. Once the wheels start slipping, or once you hit a curb, whatever, it does give you some extra info. It's nice. Again, it's all about immersion, right?
And faster lap times.
Yeah, right. Cleaner, faster lap times.
Or at least finishing the lap times. Something that, as we know, didn't happen tonight.
Yeah, but again, that's a tough track, man. And it sounds like, because of what happened to Brad and System X there, it sounds like we really just kind of got stuck in a bit of a hole of a split there, really.
Yeah, you get stuck in a split. It's just kind of where you end up, and you kind of have to deal with it. And unfortunately, I think we just were wrong place at the wrong time every time.
Absolutely.
And I honestly, watching and talking with Brad, I talked to Brad a bunch afterwards, and I was probably, I know I was faster than Brad. I ran him down pretty quickly, and Brad pulled over and let me go by, and we were running down people in front of us, but he said that even after his stint, he was 2 seconds a lap faster than everybody else. They actually unlapped. He got 2 of his laps back on track. Those guys were having so many issues, not crashing, but just having offs. And
yeah,
so he managed to get himself back up into 12th place. And then, wait, hold on. Mark, you told me earlier it's not Nami Lee.
Nami. It's
Nami.
like Tommy with an N.
Yep.
Nami Lay.
Nami Lay.
Yep.
So until Nami's incident happened, I think we would have been good. I think Mark and Tyler and you, I think we would have held our own very easily. Unfortunately, that just wasn't meant to be this year, and now we have 364 days to wait.
Yeah, I know all about counting down. It's what the Buckeye fans are doing with Michigan right now. It's counting down to the next one. Hey, but here's the thing, right? And for people that listen, this is the real interesting thing, because if you go through the map and where we had the incidents at, it's at the cutting and at Forest Elbow, which are literally 2 of the tightest, most blind corners on the track. And that just happened to be where someone happened to have an incident right in front of us both times. So, again, I think everybody's cool with it, man. It is what it is. It's what happens.
It is what happens.
Bathurst is just a tricky track, man. I mean, even the Green Hell, at least you have 24 hours to make it up, and you have a lot wider track most of the time. But Bathurst, once you hit the wall, it's over, and everyone just turns the corner, and there's nothing like that can be done.
Last year in our 12 hours of Bath, we got to the top of the mountain, and there was a car that had spun around and was facing the wrong way, and he was backing down the mountain because he couldn't turn around. And there was just a line of cars waiting for this dude to back down the mountain.
Yeah, this split, I qualified 23rd, and I was just like, you know what? Should we just like start it from the pits because don't want to crash again. And I think by lap 9, we were back to 23rd after starting from the pits. So we started like 40 something. That's how bad it was. And there's already a pileup going into turn 3, and I had to I think I ran like a 2:35 lap time or something crazy. But I still got back to my qualifying spot within 10 laps.
I think we all kind of went into this, though, with a thought of, hey, there's a real good chance none of us are going to finish this race just because, even though we love the track, just because of the track that it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Oh, man. Some guy in our split just went on the chat and said, one of our drivers intentionally wrecked the car and then left us all. Oh, man. Looks like he won't be in the team for much longer. And we're what? Yes, 8 hours in.
So, 8 hours in almost.
RIP to that guy's team. I can't believe that.
JR is a faithful listener of the podcast. I know you like to ask people about their daily drivers or if they have a fun car. Did you already ask Sean that question?
I have not got yet.
Because I happen to know that Sean has a fun ride.
Well, Sean, then let's hear what you got.
I have a 2015 Chevrolet Silverado High Country that I absolutely adore. That's not what Mark is talking about, though.
I was like, no, thank Mark. No, what?
I have a 2012. Let me give you the specs first. So it's a 2012 V8 twin turbo meth injected all-wheel drive sports car. It's about 600 at the crank and about 475 at the wheels. Again, all-wheel drive. So yeah, it's a fun car. It's a car I've had it for about 7-8 years. I bought it in 2015. It's a 2012. So it's a Mercedes-Benz CLS 550, but it is now essentially faster than an AMG 63. So we've done some work on it. It's definitely not Grandpa's Mercedes. This is the loud, obnoxious, almost straight. Here. Yeah, straight piped.
And what do you do with said car?
Well, we go to Mexico and we have a lot of fun with it.
Okay,
that's what we do. No, in all seriousness, so for quite a while, I was actually part of a local car club here around Detroit. It's actually a group called RK Rally, and they put on essentially weekend rallies. They usually do about 3 or 4 a year. It's just a great group of guys, and honestly, we had cars from, anything. You name it, we had it. Pontiac Solstice, all the way to McLarens, Ferraris, etc. Right? You've got literally everything in between. And everybody's very cool. If you're a car guy, you're welcome. And so I kind of started going on with those guys. And so, of course, we have some fun times. We would take them to drag strips. I've actually taken it on Lucas Oil Raceway in Indiana, that little short track, and tracked it around there a little bit. But we'll go around to different parts of the country and, like I said, just kind of have a rally event and go there. We've been to Tail of the Dragon over in Tennessee multiple times. And just run the snot out of that thing. That is so much fun. But yeah, we do that. We may do a little bit of racing down in Mexico from time to time. But yeah, honestly though, I'll tell you what, it's actually been parked in the garage for the last year. Not because it's not running. I'm just working on it and doing some additional upgrades.
Okay, so it's not just could you use it? Obviously, not necessarily as a daily driver, but is it street legal enough to where you could take it out and?
Oh yeah, no, it's completely
Okay.
And actually, for the first, I don't know, for quite a while, I actually did use it as my daily driver. It's only been the last few years that it kind of became the baby car, and I got my truck, so.
Okay, had me worried for a minute there. I was like, no more minivans and. No, Mark, when you were on the episode, did we get a chance to ask you about your car? I think we started this segment after you had already been through and.
Yeah, you dime me out. Now you got to fess up.
Well, I don't have anything fun to drive. I have a 2020 Ram with a Hemi, but I mean, to me, it's fun to drive, but it's definitely not like a 600 horsepower Mercedes.
Yeah.
Lol.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
I can't say I have anything too fun either. So.
Uh-oh, surprise guest in the house, Dennys Diaz, 3-time E4A champion. Welcome, Dennys.
Hello, how you doing?
Oh, Dennis would be perfect for the segment.
Yeah,
too,
Dennys
actually.
has a fun car too. Did you ask him?
Yeah, he
No,
does.
we didn't do this segment. So Dennis, we're speaking cars here, and we just heard about Mark's 2020 Ram and Sean's 600 horsepower Beast. What do you got over there, Mr. Diaz?
Just remember, Dennys, all the racing you do is in Mexico.
So, not all
Yeah.
of it, but I wasn't expecting to jump into a podcast episode. But so I have a BMW 435i that's full bolt-on and tuned that I take to the track every now and then, and sometimes to Mexico whenever I want to be cheap out on racing. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's also lowered, has a front splitter, so some extra aero on it, and then I'm trying to get a livery for it later. I have photos of it, of the livery that's planned, and it looks really good. Plus, I want to get an APR rear wing to help with the aero of the car.
Awesome. Well,
Yes.
it's nice to know that some of us that spend a lot of time sitting in front of a steering wheel, staring at a computer screen, actually have cars that we can drive in the real world too.
Yeah,
And-
for sure, man.
So,
Yeah, pretty much.
all right, Zach, I don't believe you had the opportunity as well. So what Zach got?
I have a 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan. Just a small little SUV. Nothing too exciting, but it's new. It's nice. Gets me to point A, point B, but it ain't winning any drag races, that's for sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
but
pulling
it's-
up next to Sean at the red light, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you still got manufacturer warranty.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, it gets the job done. I could use some heated seats for sure in this cold Michigan winter, but
See,
yeah,
the problem with my car is it's so stinking heavy. She's a big girl, and I mean, as much as that is, it's an 11 high mid 11-second car. It's not any faster. You know, I got buddies that are running similar horsepower, but are completely stripped out to where they're 10-second cars. They're
Are you
just
talking
blowing
about
down the
the
track.
Mercedes?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
dude,
thing
those
is-
things are missiles.
I used
Oh,
I
it's
used to be
so
with
heavy.
with Dennis and the BMW gang, but I had like the I wouldn't even call it the B version. It was like the D minus version. It was like an 06. I don't even know what it was. 06 3 series. I think it burnt more oil than gas half the time. You couldn't
Oh,
roll
so
down the
normal
windows because it might not come back up. Yeah, I rolled the window down an hour away from home, and then it started pouring down rain, and the motor broke, and so I had to drive down the highway in a thunderstorm with just raining sideways through my car. I know, it was a miserable experience, but it was fun. I liked it, but BMW ownership didn't treat me well.
You can't get this on any other podcast.
Zach, I have heated
No.
seats and heated steering wheel, and it's definitely worth it.
Oh,
yeah.
I know, it's definitely worth it. My heated seats, like, there's definitely something broken on it too, so it would just like get way too hot, which is kind of nice because it'd work better. But yeah,
I'm telling you, heated seats are really good, but sadly I live in Florida, so they're
I was
kind of
gonna
almost
say.
useless.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it.
My
It was-
girlfriend appreciates them, though.
It was 51 below here this morning. I don't want to hear it.
oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
it's
it.
like 51 on the coldest days in Florida.
JR is going to be the guy in spring with the orange parka on that's shivering on the ground. His buddies are huddled around him.
Are you kidding?
Cold.
Holy
In
crap!
spring, I'll be the guy in shorts and a t-shirt, and it'll be 12 degrees outside.
That was almost our car 12 right there.
Yeah, speaking of cars facing the wrong way on the mountain.
Yeah, Paul just missed that going through the cutting. Luckily, he hit the apex, and the other guy didn't. That scared the crap out of me.
Why could we have that luck just once?
Oh,
I know,
don't
right? Just once, because
Just once.
same area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, we have Zach Purcell crew chiefing too, so shout out to him. He's been killing it all day today. So it's nice to have an extra set of eyes.
In
And I
case
would-
you guys were curious, I'm watching the top split, like the race, and they are coming up to the last lap. Team Red Line Orange, which is their big team for the day, Max Verstappen and the boys.
Oh, is he in there
are-
again this year?
Yep. Yeah, he's in there now. They are last lap. They have a 56-second lead over their teammates in Team Red Line Red.
Man, it must just suck to show up to those though, and just be like, all right, guys, who's getting fourth? Because you got Verstappen's teammates, his other teammates.
Yep.
all
Right.
McLaren.
Yeah,
Are
well-
they in the? Are they in the Audi again?
No, they're actually in the McLaren this year. And then Team Red Line Red is in the BMW. And then looks like third place is Team BMW Team BS Competition, followed by the two Williams Esports team, rounding out your top 5 on the big screen top split guys. Those guys are last lap coming through. I didn't get a chance to see any qualifying times, but it doesn't look like it was nearly as fast as a couple years ago.
Yeah, last year was a big deal. They were in the Audi, and Verstappen took the pole by almost 2 seconds. And then obviously they went on to dominate the race and win. And Verstappen had 0x the entire race, never touched anything.
Well, he didn't have that this race. He had some controversy at the start. He, I don't know. I watched it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. He pushed the Team VRS guys a little wide and run them off track, but it didn't look intentional. The first bump looked a little like netcode more than anything. But he definitely didn't run through clear this year.
Well, unfortunately, when you're Max Verstappen, if you do anything wrong, you're gonna never hear the end of it. I'm sure.
No.
So.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's known for being a little bit more aggressive, shall we say. So yeah, he's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
So it was
There's about
Luke
to be
and Max.
50 articles on that man tomorrow. Just wait.
Oh, I'm sure.
Max and
Yeah,
Luke
right.
Bennett were teammates.
You don't get the number 1 plate without a little bit of controversy.
That's
Yeah.
right. Everyone's racing, right?
All right, risk it for the biscuit. What's
That's
the old saying? If you no longer go for a gap,
If you
You're
go
not
for a gap that
racing.
no longer exists, you're not a racing driver.
There you
Something
go.
Like that.
yeah.
If you no longer go for a gap
That doesn't exist.
that exists, you're no longer an iRacing driver.
It also helps to have the officials on your side.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
Well, we're not going to dive into that.
that's been a mainstay of racing in general. Let's just say innovation and relationships.
I don't watch F1, but just hearing all the talk that you guys have done about it all last season in Verstappen versus Hamilton, and I'm actually looking forward to it starting up this season because I want to check it out.
I'm like you, man. I really didn't watch it much either, but seeing all the back and forth, yeah, I cannot wait for it to start.
And have you guys? You both said you're not big F1 fans. I love it. It's great. I
I'm
enjoy
with
it.
you.
But man, the cars this year are beautiful.
That
They
Aston
are.
Martin is awesome. I
Oh,
love that thing.
in fact, I saw yesterday McLaren and Lego revealed their 2022 Lego version of the McLaren F1 car, and I immediately text my son. Him and I are both. He's a big McLaren fan, but we both have all of the Lego Technique cars, all the F1 cars and the Ferrari. Zach,
Yeah,
you and I
yeah.
had this conversation, and I haven't had a chance to have it with any other guest yet. Zach and I are both in the Red Vine Club. Mark, are you a Red Vine or a Twizzler guy?
Whistler.
Okay.
Side note,
No.
I even like black licorice.
What's wrong with that? Black licorice is great. I'm with you on that.
It's great in small quantities.
I don't even know you people anymore.
I never even tried black licorice, but if I had to choose one, I've only had Twizzler.
No,
Okay.
neither.
What? Neither.
Neither.
What?
You're gonna go with the
I agree.
Australian
I wouldn't
licorice?
choose Twizzlers. I
No.
wouldn't even choose that.
Well,
Australian
you know what?
licorice is pretty
we
good.
should let Sean explain because
No,
He's gonna say Crayola.
maybe.
Marines.
That's only in a pinch. Listen, you eat that many Armarias,
Airheads.
you too.
Are you an airhead guy? What?
No, so here's what I'll give you. I'll give you that the Adkins official answer would be Twizzlers because my wife loves Twizzlers. I hate them with a passion. I think it tastes like wax. I am not a fan. Dude, I'm simple, man. Give me some chocolate. I'm good with some peanut M&Ms, some Reese cups.
That wasn't the question.
Yes, Sean.
I know, but I don't eat Twizzlers or
Well,
any
then-
of that licorice.
Okay,
Ugh.
then you say neither. You can't throw a eighth party into the. It was a
I
red
did
vine or a
say
Twizzler.
neither.
You can't.
I said
you-
neither.
Okay,
Zach
neither.
wanted an explanation. Yeah, Zach.
I
it's
know I
your
was
fault.
curious. You know what? No, it's fine. I'll accept it.
You know, you
Hey,
can't
think
ask the
around
question
M&Ms,
of red vine or Twizzlers and you go Reese's peanut butter cups. No.
Well,
That's like when I
Can't-
asked Tyler what kind of car he drives, and he's like, "Oh, I got a sweet Ford Explorer." See, that doesn't count. Your fun car to drive can't be a Ford Explorer. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. No.
Yes, it
Oh,
can. You start
man.
yeeing over like off roads.
well,
You can make it a fun car.
I was going to say the other way, right? Put it on bags, shove a Coyote with a supercharger on it. Just lay that thing on the ground with some, tubbed out and some wide rears. You could have a very fun car.
You know, Tyler's a
Oh yeah.
farmer, right?
Well, this is true, but he doesn't
Yeah.
live in Michigan, and I grew up by where he lives, and it's still even the tar and pebble roads are good out back there.
You know,
Yeah,
he's
super-
listening
super
right now, and he's probably
effective.
throwing a fit.
I say, did we lose Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler is. He had some prior.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I
Engagements.
forgot. That's right. Yep.
So he was
Yeah,
hoping to make
chance
it back.
to-
Unfortunately, he is not going to join us for the last little bit of this show here.
But yeah, that's the interesting part is where I'm from originally is a little, well, it's not all that little, but it's kind of a small place called Huber Heights, Ohio, which is in that Dayton area. My dad still lives down there in Fairborn, so yeah, it's a lot of the same stomping grounds. Lots and lots and lots, and I cannot stress the word lots enough. Lots of cornfields. Lots.
And
Everywhere.
confirm.
I feel like we've got a lot of Ohio guys here. Ohio,
I'm
Indiana.
pretty sure Tyler told you that story when I went to his house.
Yes.
And so I punch in. So he gives me his address, right? And so I punch it into Google Maps on my phone, and I'm driving, and it literally takes me to like this 4-way intersection, and it's like you have arrived at your destination, and it's just a cornfield. There's nothing,
And it's a
nowhere,
blinking red light, right?
nothing. No, just cornfields all around. And so I call him. I'm like, dude, it says I'm here, but it's just cornfields, and yeah, a lot of cornfields down there in the Farmersville area on the, I guess that's the west
named.
side of Dayton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
Zach-
from Seattle originally, so that's the furthest thing from farmland as you can get.
Well, Zach, do you have an update for us on how the team's doing?
Currently we are P1 with a 1 and 9 second gap to the team behind. Now I'm not sure what pit cycle the other team is on, but I think we technically have the lead overall. I think even after the pit cycle, we have to take tires. I think after this, so we have 2 more tire stops. I think it's looking good. I'll have to get the lowdown from our crew chief over there to see what pit strategy the second place team is on.
I think
But
you
so far,
guys
so
should
good.
have to do a team Zach. All the Zachs have to be on one team next time.
We should.
There you go. Actually, you should make Zach Purcell the linchpin and make everybody named Purcell and everybody named Zach.
There you go.
And I
There's
think,
too many
Mark,
drivers.
I think you should implement some kind of authoritarian rule where one team has to consist only of drivers that have,
The same name.
well, no, have had, have wrecked the car.
No, the Get Along
Oh.
shirt gang.
Yeah, just the punishment car.
Yes.
Mhm.
It just has to be like bright pink
Like
and
8 of you.
obnoxious.
Sorry, all
Well-
8 of you. No, 8 of you have to go on there, and you're not allowed to get out of this group until you finish.
Well, that would include Zach Purcell.
Well, he's going to go in his own special group.
Man, ZP not even here to defend himself.
Oh man, catching the strays.
I'm telling you.
You think? So who? I know we've got obviously Tyler Watts hasn't wadded up a team car yet because he hasn't driven one.
Yep.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Right?
Oh man.
If I,
I feel
was
like
Tyler,
we have
I-
somebody.
Kyle Smith.
Well, yeah, he hasn't
gotten one
driven yet either, though. But has Keith, Marcus, and I know Terry has wrecked one. What about Keith and Marcus?
Marcus,
I know
yes.
Marcus, yes.
Has, yeah,
Yes.
Marcus has blown so many motors.
yeah.
Keith, I know back when we used to run with Matt Arrington, I know in Watkins Glen, they did the split after us, like the day after us, and one of them got in an accident. I don't know if it was Keith or Matt. But Keith might have. But I don't. There's nothing that like sticks out to me that like of any specific moment. So maybe that Watkins Glen incident, but I wouldn't really even call it wadding it up. I think they just had like some optionals they had to take.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
I don't think has Paul Skip legit wrecked one yet. He's only been with us for a couple.
I don't think so.
No, I
And
don't think. No, because
Yeah,
Paul and I did the Daytona race, and well, that didn't go so well.
I know Paul Boyle got it out of his system at Lamar.
Yeah,
Oh, we
Tyler,
all got that.
Zach. Yeah, Zach took us out at Lamar
Yeah. Chris Lawson? That's
3
Chris?
times.
I don't know if Chris has he done a race with us.
Yeah, he did.
I'm at
Daytona
least
with-
one. Yeah.
It was me, him, and Marcus.
How
And
did
Matt.
What about
And by the way-
Sebring last year was what, you, Steven, and Tyler, right?
Yeah. And then no, me, Steven, and Bryce. And then Bryce wrecked the car on like lap 9 or 19 or something like that. And then left to lunch with the in-laws for 4 hours. And Stephen Thompson had to run a quadruple stint. And
Yeah.
I showed up 10 minutes before the end of his quadruple stint. And
Yeah.
he never touched the car after that for the rest of the race because he just, I was like, I don't blame you, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
He spent way too long in that thing.
Real quick too, by the way, Marcus, if you're listening to this, I don't mean anything by that. I just mean there's a joke about the fact that we've gone through engines and so forth, and it's usually not your fault. So hey,
Oh yeah,
just remember that.
we softened him up. Marcus just has the unfortunate
Finishing
talent
them off.
of being in the car when
Yep.
it finally pops.
Didn't
But-
Bryce do the same thing at the Glen too? Didn't he wreck the car and then leave with Marcus to finish the race?
Yeah, he wrecked
That did
the car.
happen.
And then
I do
left.
remember that.
And then Marcus just finished it by himself with somebody else.
I'm sensing a common theme here. We might need to have a sit down with Bryce.
I think just him and Marcus need to be on separate teams. Because every time they're on the same team together, something happens.
Hmm.
I
Bad
think
count
we
on
need to
Marcus.
draw names out of a hat next time.
That might be the best way to
just
do
go
it.
straight lottery.
The straight lottery, 3 guys to a team. If we have to have 9 teams, we have 9 teams.
That's right. 3 people for 24 hours should be plenty.
Ooh,
Well,
know Mark's
for
happy about
24
it.
hour, okay, maybe we'll do 4 guys for 24
Oh,
hours.
there you
but-
go. That's better.
that's
Now you're
still a
talking
lot.
Zach's language.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcus, you think I like having people? Marcus is planning on doing the whole 12 hours with just Patrick Ripley. Although
It's-
me and Tyler Watts might be stuck together too, doing a 2-person team in the LMP, but I don't know if my back can handle that. So maybe we'll team was before or
It's still-
something.
Still not as bad as Brad and Tony though. I think Brad and Tony were gonna do the 24 hours of NERB by themselves until me and Zach joined them.
They would rather do it by themselves.
Well, yeah, they didn't want me in the car. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's our performances. They would have been better off. But that was fun though. That was a fun race.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that for a 12-hour race, I think 3 or 4 people is about perfect, right? And I think once you get that 24-hour race, I think I'm more the 6 to 8 guys to drive the car.
Man.
See, 8's a lot. 6 I could do 6. Then you get like 4 hours.
Yeah, you just got to get with
I
the
guess
right
it also
group.
kind of depends on everyone's schedule too and stuff. Obviously.
Yep. And you pair up the guys that are interested in those kinds of driving stints. You know what I mean? The guys that want to drive, 6 hours, or even want to drive, 12 hours, 8 hours.
Well, and that's why it's kind of nice too, because we usually kind of end up with some sort of lopsided number. So it's like, well, Marcus can go run for 12 hours straight, and everyone else can go team up. It works out.
None of us do this for a living. We're watching some of these top split guys. Well, that's what they do for a living. That's their job. That's all they do. You know, maybe somebody has to, you know, Mark had to work this morning. Well, that's why we would have started a different split, but we had to work around Mark's work schedule. Well, Zach, you guys had to start at certain times because this guy lives in this part of the world, this guy lives in that part of the world, but we all have jobs, we all have things we have to do. And so sometimes you just end up getting a team together of guys that can fill in the time spots you need too.
And that was even just like, I think me and Mark, when we did that with Brad and Tony, it was kind of just Brad and Tony were going to plan on doing it. And I was like, here, I'll just show up at like 2 a.m. Mark can fill in when he gets back from work, and you guys do the rest.
Yeah.
And, you know, you just got to.
Paul Skip has taken over the car now.
Yep. And let's see, our little time chart, which Zach Purcell, listening to this, is laughing at me. You should have 3 stints and about 13-ish. We're going to have 3.5 stints because my early pit stop. It's going to add a few extra laps at the end, but I think I'm getting in the car next.
When does Tyler get in the car?
Holy crap, oh my goodness.
Has Tyler got in the car yet?
Across the screen. Who?
Tyler.
Tyler's not on our team.
Oh, he's just in the chat.
Tyler's on your team.
No,
Tyler Watts was on Bryce's team.
Oh, okay. Oh, poor guy.
A car just went flying over and down the hill, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think he took one out of Tyler's playbook. Or no, it was Mark who went down the hill. That was scary. We're getting really lucky this race. But I guess that's kind of how it works, isn't it?
Yes.
At this point, how much longer we have? Let's see. Probably
interesting to see when they cross the line here.
It doesn't look like he's that far behind the leader.
Yeah, we're going through the chase right now, so I'm gonna see because I'm in the actual session.
Yeah,
so.
the leader's making a left, crossing the start-finish line right now.
You've got about 3 hours left.
3 hours.
Yeah, and actually, I'm
minutes.
gonna go see what they're saying with the strategy. Maybe I can key you guys in on the.
All right.
Well, we're just about ready to wrap the show up, anyways, gentlemen. Because we do have an allotted amount of time. I'm only allowed so much uploads of this podcast each month without having to pay extra money.
Yep.
And because the podcast doesn't pay me, at least not yet. Still working on that. Still working on getting some, hopefully, a potential partnership with some people. So that'll be nice.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. So, according to our crew chief, we actually have the outright lead. They are just on a different pit schedule. So that one head was legit. 1 minute lead.
Yeah, he's 17 seconds back right now after the pit.
And they have to do one more pit than we do still.
Wow. Hey, man, bring it home, brother.
They still make me touch the car, so I don't know if that's a good thing.
Zach Purcell may not be able to drive a car, but man, he's a good crew chief.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, Zach Purcell's been killing it today. He's bailed us out of a lot of sticky situations, especially the spotting.
I needed one of those this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us needed a helicopter just to lift the car up over the top of the track because some of these wrecks, man, are just atrocious. I mean,
nah, man, if you just jump over the wall, you can go straight back to the pits from the top of the mountain.
Honestly, that would have been safer for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
If you jump over the wall, that's right. It does pop you straight back in the pits.
Yep.
Take the portal.
Perfect.
Now, if you win, Zach, here's what I need you to do.
All right.
I need you to go all the way back around, come out of the forest, right? Come out of all the things, down the back stretch, and then I need you to go straight.
Oh,
and you know what to do.
Yep.
Oh, we're taking the jump, win or lose. I mean, you just have to, but we're sticking this one. I got it down. I practiced. Don't you worry.
There we go. I was gonna say we put some time. We figured out how you can do it and walk away from it. So
for those of you listening at home, I have landed before, and it is a 12-second slowdown. If you don't destroy the car, but it is 12 seconds, so it's worth it. You got a couple sport cars in front of you.
That's Mark Thomas in 17th place, all over Paul Skip's ass.
Yes, it is our league's own.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to go grab Mr. Paul Boyle here real quick and bring him back in, and we're going to find out how Paul's stint went, and then I think we're going to wrap this show up. If you guys are all right with that?
Sounds good.
So let me grab Paul and let's see how his stint went. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Boyle. How are you? Or let us hear how it was from second back into the lead. How'd that go?
Between the fact that stint was midnight till 1 a.m. for me, and a very quiet one on track. My focus was being fought for there, I must admit.
So that's your fourth stint of the night. Is that correct?
Third, I do believe. 2 seconds. Let me double check.
Third stint.
Yeah, I think it's everyone's third, and then Paul's supposed to get back in the car to finish it off. As long as time allows.
We're just. So that was my third, and now this is Skip's third.
And then my fourth coming up.
Zach will then take a fourth, and my fourth stint will then last us, hopefully, to checkered flag.
And how is the car running?
We've got about 4 or 5 kilometers worth of kilometers an hour, the 3 mile an hour's worth of damage on the top speed, which is currently costing us about 0.8 to a second a lap. But it seems that everybody around us has similar or just similar overall pace. So maintaining the status quo for now. The car's stable, it's fine. We've got a little bit more front downforce than potentially the setup had first allowed for, which is actually probably quite useful. I'm taking the entire mountain flat out now, especially on low fuel. So yeah, time's looking really good.
I think we're sitting at like 3 minutes of optionals, and we have half a rear headlight, tail light. But it's a Paul Boyle car, so you can't have every light working. So, I mean, that's just how it is.
Well, great. Well, congratulations, Paul. It was fun to watch, and great that you guys are having such a great run. Hope you guys can keep it going.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you wouldn't believe it given the lap times, but they were actually triple stinted tyres in the mid-afternoon at Bathurst. We have a very obscure session live at the moment that has not yet crested 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Front right down to 55% at the end of that one.
Ooh.
She was pushing, I'm sure.
Well, great strategy. Sure. Well, Paul, we are just getting ready to wrap up the show, but I would like to have you back on to actually sit down and get a chance to talk to you a little bit outside of this race. I'll let you guys get back to concentrating on the race, and we look forward to having you on again soon and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much. And yeah, no, I'd be more than happy to. I'm glad I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Great. Awesome. Well, good luck.
Bring it home, Paul.
Yeah, don't let Zach crash it. That's all we ask for.
Hey, I touched it 3 times so far, and we're still around.
Yes.
Although, my second stint, I got an earful from the crew chief, so
I heard
my best behavior from now on. Yes. So, no more shenanigans.
All right. Well, good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Well, Sean, I guess it's just you and I now. I appreciate you stopping by and joining us for an episode. It was nice to hear about the beginnings of the rig, where the rig is now, and, of course, about the toy car that's parked in the garage.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to drive it again this summer. But hey, man, I really appreciate having me on. It was a lot of fun, and look forward to maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get a chance to race again, and we'll actually make it a little bit further where I give you a car that's, well, maybe, you know what, next time you can start.
No, that's not, I don't think, the right recipe. Yeah, but make me go through the harrowing beginnings. Absolutely. No. Sounds good, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Once again, a big thank you to Sean Adkins for stopping by the show today and giving a little insight into what he's got going on. And now let's get into our interview with the third place team from the evening, Pony Express 3. Well, everyone, we have a special guest team tonight, Pony Express 3. They just finished their 12 Hours of Bathurst race in a uneventful, anticlimactic third place finish. They did finish on the podium. Unfortunately, it was not what they were hoping for. So let's go right to Mr. Paul Boyle. Want to tell us what happened there, buddy?
Yeah, so as we predicted, I was in the car scheduled for a stint and a half to finish the race on a clean set of tires. Our pit strategy led us to basically having about a 20-second on-track lead over P2, who had basically pulled out all of the stops and were quadruple stinting their tires in a last-ditch effort to keep us honest at the end of a 12-hour race. And it worked. Unfortunately for me, in pushing for that last little bit of lap time to keep them ahead, I binned it going out of a turn 5, I believe, rolled it onto its roof. Fortunately for us, we managed to put enough gaps between us, 8 laps to P4. So Mr. Tow Truck Driver saved our race and helped us to claim a podium in the end. But P1 should have ultimately been the result.
Well, regardless, it was a great race. Now, whose idea was it to, or who came up with the idea that we're going to tow truck driver our way to a podium finish? Anyone?
Oh, I don't know, who was it?
It was you, Zach. Come on.
Was it me?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I don't remember mentioning it. But
I suppose I should mention Pony Express 3 tonight is Paul Boyle, Zach Nurnberger, Zach Purcell, and Paul Skip. These guys did an amazing job, and we're just trying to figure out whose idea it was to tow truck finish. So who wants to explain to us exactly how that worked out to keep you guys in third place?
well, we were on the same lap as P1. P2 was it 3 laps down?
2 laps behind.
2.
Or P3 was 2 laps down, yes. And then P4 was 8 laps down.
8.
So technically when you tow, for people that don't know, you tow forwards around the track. So once you finish towing, you'll gain a lap actually. So we had 6 laps, and I think it was 20 minutes. So the most they could run is like 10 laps or something like that. I don't know. The math worked out. Basically, if we towed 3 times, they couldn't technically pass us. So we just decided to drive it out down the straight, park it, tow, drive it down the straight, park it, tow. And I think we did it 3 times. And the tow truck driver did the last couple laps for us.
It was only a 3-minute tow.
Yeah, it was only 3-minute tow. Not bad, considering it was a 2-minute lap and the car is fine. So it was actually probably faster than even trying to drive it normally. I don't remember that being my idea, but it all worked out. But it is what it is. But the tow truck driver came in clutch when we needed him. Pretty quick. Not the way we wanted to end it, but honestly, if you would have asked us for a 3rd place before the race started, we probably would have took it, considering the notorious history of Bathurst. So it is what it is.
I should have taken Mr. Zero X on the mountain up on his offer of that final stint, but there you go.
Hey, we did good. We had the strategy, I mean, we did start from the pits because we knew we were going to be in the middle of the pack on the start, and we were like, let's not get in the middle of this meat grinder here, so we technically came all the way up from the back of the field to finish 3rd at Bathurst. I'm proud of us. We did it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's 500 some odd teams entered for the split. Only 10 people can even win it. So to even be in that chance, you have to do a hell of a job to get the car up there that far. So we should definitely all be proud of ourselves. I mean, that's regardless of what happens, no easy task at all. So it's definitely something to. It was unfortunate, but hold our heads high and be proud. Paul did an excellent job to put us in that position in the first place. So overall, it was a good team performance. Unlucky, but there are plenty of other cars that were 20, 30, 40 laps down that were way worse off. So it is what it is, and we will be on to Sebring.
Yeah, it was quite impressive. I mean, you guys battled for 12 straight hours after having a bad start in your first heat, so it takes a lot to come back from that. Now, who came up with the strategy? You mentioned that there was some strategy, to get you guys in that position. Did you guys have this worked out beforehand, or did you just kind of play the cards that were dealt you?
Honestly, I think we just kind of we were expecting it to get a lot hotter, so we kind of just figured, oh, we'll just double stint tires while it's good, and then we'll just everyone gets in the car, take fresh tires, and boom, it's pretty simple. But once we were kind of realizing that, hey, temperatures weren't even getting above like 90 or something like that, then we just started the double stinting everything. And I mean, it wasn't really anything special. It was just kind of count out how many stints we have. We have 8. All right, 2, 2, 2, 2, and just kind of make it work. But it was just kind of a team call. Everyone was making sure everyone was comfortable, taking little tires and stuff, and just kind of playing it by eye as the race went on. And especially with Zach able to help us out with everything too. That was really nice.
Yeah, our crew chief was keeping us in check, being the voice of reason when we were starting to act stupid.
Yeah,
Well-
I gotta do strategy, but I also gotta do morale and keep the team together. It's a long race, and I stayed through the whole thing to make sure we did it all clean. But I mean, yeah, the drivers did a great job, and the tire like conservation was really impressive by all three. I mean, in the middle of the Australian day, even though it didn't get that hot, they triple stinted, all taking the car from each other, which takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of trust in each other to take used tires from someone else. Paul did first stint, Paul skipped, and only went down to like 88%. Zach's his only went down to like 74, and Paul Boyle was still raring to go with, tires that were only 74% and still put in a really good hour on that.
Well, that was awesome, gentlemen. You guys did a great job. Nice to see at least one of the Pony Express teams finishing and pulling a podium finish at that. Now, are you guys going to be the same team going to Sebring, or are you guys switching it up a little bit?
I think it just depends on which cars we're doing.
Yeah, I think we kind of have like a rough schedule. I mean, obviously, it's the end of next month, so we still have, I don't know, 6 odd weeks. I think the plan is for like me and Tyler Watts to be in like LMP. Both the Pauls are in GT3, so they might be in separate teams. I mean, we don't really know yet, but obviously with the IMSA classes, you have a little bit of shakeup in either prototypes or GT racing and stuff. So I guess we'll see, but there's a few more GT3 races, especially Spa. So maybe we seek our revenge together.
Well, congratulations, guys. It was fun to watch, that's for sure. And thanks for joining me on the podcast, both now and during the race, actually. Appreciate it, guys. And take care and good luck at Sebring.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, JR.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for stopping by and supporting the show. Remember to check out all things Pony Express. Check the links below for the links to the website, the podcast, Discord, any and everything you could possibly imagine as it relates to Pony Express. And a big shout out to all those guys that stopped by the show today. Really appreciate it. And congratulations once again to Pony Express 3 for their podium finish at the Bathurst 12 Hour. See you next week.